back and I'm better than ever, I promise. So I kind of just wanted to talk about Black. And now, for those who have not watched it, I don't know if you're into K-dramas or J-dramas or Chinese dramas. I watch everything. I don't care if it's in Spanish, Middle Eastern. As long as it has an interesting plot, I am all there. So, for those of you who may not know what the show is, on Netflix there's a show called Black. That's the English title of it. And then it's the same thing as well as in Korean. Now, this show primarily is about a girl who has the ability to foresee death. She can see death, and basically she ends up becoming a little buddy with a Grim Reaper without even knowing it. So I kind of wanted to talk about how phenomenal I really thought the show was and kind of just break it down. Number 1, character development. Oh my god, I suddenly got super cute. She's right, I did get cute. Thank you, iPhone. So character development, that's actually one of the most important things that I love about a good storyline. I want to feel like I'm in love with your character. I want to hate your character. I want to feel sad for your character. I need to feel like I'm there. So character development in regards to like their background, you know, what happened to them, what made them become who they are. If you think about it, in real life, you are the way you are based on 2 things: how you were nurtured and how you were natured. So there's a lot of things that kind of like cultivate a human being in regards to who they become, whether it's a villain, whether it's a hero, or someone who's just kind of in between, just trying to live life, regardless of what it is. The whole point is you become who you are over time. So what I love the most about the show Black was sort of just watching how everyone comes together. Now, when you start the episode, it starts off with this. The opening scene to Black is a young man who throws himself off the top of a cliff, and what ends up happening is he goes into the ocean, he swims to the bottom, he finds an old dusted car, and he's like in the water trying to like get rid of all the dust and see what's inside, and he finds a dead body inside, and you see him having this this breakdown of a moment, you know, kind of like where you're in that dark place in life and you're questioning everything. So he's looking at the corpse and he's like, is this me? This is me. And he's freaking out. Cutscene, right? And it goes black, right? And the next thing that they do is they open up the scene to where you find out that the man that you see there actually happens to be Han Mo-gang. Now, with him there, you see that there's a crime scene going on. He's there with his partner and his whole team, and they're trying to discover, you know, what's going on, the evidence, and they're doing all this. But Han Mo-gang doesn't seem to have the stomach, if you will, for the job of being a detective. So while he's there, the first thing he does is he vomits on the body. His partner gets upset with him. He's like, ah, you know, yelling at him. And you start to get the feel of each character. You start to learn a little bit more about them. Now, Min-Chae, who's called like Crazy Dog, I guess that's the English translation that they put there. For him, who happens to be Han Mo-gang's partner, he's like a caricature of himself. He's just more or less like always hot-tempered and over the top, but it's not so bad where you're like, okay, calm me down. Like, he went big and didn't have to go home, like, and it was just enough. Han Mo-gang, you get the feel of his character in a sense of who he is. You know, he's kind of skittish. He wants to do his job. He's intelligent, but he's not quite, you know, what you would expect in a detective. And then the next other person that you become introduced to, who's also one of the main characters, is Kim Seung-heon. I mean, she's aight, but whatever. I'm totally such a big fan of her. There's also Haram. Now, Haram is the one that basically this entire story revolves around. And who she is, that she's the young woman who has the abilities to see death. She can also foresee your death. So when she sees you, she sees a shadow. She can touch the shadow and see how you're going to die. Now, her opening scene as an introduction of a character, she's working at a burger shop with 2 pairs of glasses on. And you'll find the reason why she has the glasses later on as you're watching the show. and her ex-boyfriend happens to be ordering at the register next to her, and she's trying to like not like look at him, but it turns out she's seeing a shadow. So when she reaches for him to see how he's supposed to die, she ends up seeing that he's supposed to get hit by a truck, and she's not really paying attention to the customer in front of her, who happens to be, of course, Hamgang. So the boyfriend starts yelling at her. He's like, oh, you're a curse, you're this, blah, 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 you're ratchet, you're a witch. He's calling her all kinds of things. She feels terrible. He walks out the store, hit by a truck. So everyone's screaming, freaking out, and the only person who's paying attention is Hamgang now. Haram ends up leaving work or whatever. She goes home. She's crying her eyes out because she's like, all he had to do was like wait 3 minutes. He just had to wait 3 minutes, and she's having like an emotional breakdown at home. And that is your main introduction to, you know, the main characters for the most part. Everyone else, you see how they affect the lives of the main characters in time. Now, in regards to the character development that I was talking about, what I like is when you get to know Haram, you start to learn what her childhood was like, and not like one of those like cheesy flashbacks. Every single flashback had a point. Nothing was like, oh, let's just throw it in there and let's see what happens. They didn't do that at all. Not a single flashback was ever wasted. It wasn't just a random piece of information to use for no reason, or a way to kind of like cheaply connect things. It had a purpose, and that's what I really loved about their character development in regards to every single character. You learned their background, you learned what made them become who they are, and you felt for them. Like, Haram's life was not that great, especially because of her abilities, and she only had one friend, just one friend, and it just, you know, things didn't work out and he couldn't be around her, which happens to be Hwang, but she thinks it's June, so she refers to him as June. So as you're watching, you start to see like how she perceives him, and she's like, oh my god, you know, this is finally one friend, and he's supportive of her gift. Her mother hates her gift. Her father's a different story. She ends up dealing with her stepdad, who's like very abusive. She has a brother. You see why she is the way that she is, and even when she says like certain phrases over and over, like one of the phrases that she says is like, what are you staring at? You want me to pluck your eyeballs out? Like what? Like, you know, to be like very tough. But you end up learning later on in one of the episodes that it happens to be something that one friend that she had in life told her, like, hey, when you get picked on, you should say this. So even as an adult, she says it, and it makes sense. At least the way how they explained it. It wasn't just like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna say this because I'm tough. You know, which is what I thought was really beautiful. And then when you start to get to know Mogangshi slash Jun, you learn why things happened the way it happened. Because after Jun moves away from Haram, she's questioning, like, did he ever get my letters? What's going on? She's questioning so much in her life. And she doesn't understand, like, well, I thought we were supposed to be friends. And she's just trying to piece together so much. Now, one of the things that I did enjoy about the character development is also that, as much as, you know, I didn't like Kim Seung-heon, whatever. But, yo, you understand, that chick is so selfish. She does all the wrong things for all the same selfish reasons, instead of just speaking up and speaking her mind and telling the truth. Like, you'd be surprised how honesty would save so many people. But, like, I guess it's just a theory to me. Whatever, Kim Seung-heon. In that regards, like, you learn what happened to her in her history and how she got to know Jun and Mogangshi. You actually learn about Mogangshi's mom. You learn about the choices that woman made. Oh my god. Wait till you get to like episode like 14 and 15. Like, you're gonna just sit there, like, you kind of want to like go through the Netflix phone or whatever you're watching on and just like slap his mother up a bit. And maybe punch Kim Seung-heon when you get the chance. But you learn what happens to Haram and how she even gets her abilities, and really kind of the fact that how she may not be the only person out there with those abilities, and it's because of one little flaw. And I don't even want to give it away because there's so much rich details in the show that I really don't want to ruin it. So yeah, I think I should probably I'm gonna move on to the next point, because I think I really stressed on how beautifully I guess, well decorated the character development is. That I really do feel like, if you ask me, I was like, yeah, Magang, she just texted me just a minute ago. We besties. But yeah, so let me move on to the next point.
Yeah, get to the point. You're running on for too long. Come on.
Shut up and just go to the next one, please.
Rude. So anyways, number 2, storylines and how they actually all connect with each other.
Yeah, she is tight moody. So one of the things that I did want to talk about is the storylines. Storylines are actually all connected. So the reason why I love this is because personally in my life, I do truly feel every little thing you do actually affects the next person. It affects an animal. It affects anything that's living. We put out a lot of energy when we choose to do the things that we do. No matter how minuscule it may be to you, it will affect another person, period. So if my life was a TV show, the kindness that I show to the Starbucks barista could affect her day in the sense that, you know, she's very happy. Or if I decide to be nasty to her, she may go home, I don't know, and beat her kids or something because she had such a rough day at work. You don't really know how you truly can affect another person's life. And because you can't see the connection of the storylines, most people tend to dismiss it. It's the small things in life that people choose to do that can actually destroy a person or create someone who's much better. And people don't understand that those choices really do mean everything in the world. I'm not talking about people who do things accidentally because they chose to do the wrong thing and they're like, man, this was an accident. Your intentions were good, but if you intentionally cause harm, that is where the issue will always lie. Period. There's nothing you can do about that. So when it comes to that particular story with Black, they show that the tiny things like kindness, how it affects a person. So like when Jun, when he told Haram, you know, when he stepped in when some kids were bullying her and he told her, when you're getting bullied, you tell them, you know, I'm gonna pluck your eyeballs out and they'll run, they'll leave you alone. She does that and she remembers that kindness, that choice to be kind so well that it goes all the way up into her adulthood, even though everything in between that was barely good. And I feel like that's such an important thing to see in the show, because you see how Jun affected her life, how Haram affected Jun's life, how this affected Moon Gang-shi's life, how this affected Kim Sun-young's life. You see how it affected the Haram's father. You see how it affects her mom, how it affects Moon Gang's mom. You see how it affects the captain, some of the villains that are in there. You see how it affects even a K-pop superstar. Throw that in there, right? Everyone's life affects the other one in some way, shape, or form. Period. Which is exactly how real life really is. You know, it can be intense. Like someone, like take for example, you can have a relationship with someone, but if someone decides to do something very cruel to another person, to be hurtful, to be spiteful, it will damage the person. So now the next step is, even though that person may not be in their life, now the damaged person is now going to perceive things differently. They're going to think differently. They're going to react differently. They're not going to be the same person that they were prior to that person hurting them. If the person is in a relationship and someone is good to them, right? That person is not going to be the same person that they were before them, because now they're going to improve for the better. It's one of the main reasons why I often try. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect, but I work so hard to do one of the most top things: be kind and honest. And it's really important, because I have no clue at the end of the day how my words or my actions will affect the next person. So for me, that's such a big thing to see it so elegantly put into the show. And it's sort of like a broader message overall. So they connect everyone's storylines by showing their actions affecting the other, including to the point where it affects a major tragedy that happens at the Mujin Mart. Now, there's this big, huge tragedy that happened back at their old town, and it affected a bunch of people because 300 people died, and in this particular tragedy in the show. And and it affects everyone, and you see how it affects like every little thing. Side characters are affected, and you see the actions that they choose. And I thought it was so intense, and it was literally like, I felt like I was a character in the story watching it going, oh my god, that's why so-and-so did this. That's exactly why Kim Seung-heon is such a terrible person. I'm sorry, I'm so stuck on her. I hate her so much. You have no idea, being truly selfish to helping another person or just being nice to another person, and it's because you're selfish and you just dishonest. I hate lying. I hate lying and I hate liars. You have no idea how much that character irritates me if you haven't gotten the gist. But yeah, you start to find out why she is the way she is, and it's almost like death-defying. Get it? Because it's about death. Okay, cool. But it's such a well-written show, and I do want to applaud the directors and the writers and the producers for taking the time to develop each character, and then as well as connecting them the way life actually happens. And I think that's what really made the material so relatable, whether you're looking at it from a supernatural perspective or whether you're just looking at a realistic level of the fact that everyone affects the other person. The question is, how do you choose to affect the other person? Mind blown! Number 3.
The acting was on point.
Yo, she right. Like, I'm so serious, she was. Now there's a couple of scenes in there where you find out one of the things that happens to Haram is her mom tries to kill her, right? And her mom's ashamed of her gift. She's upset, and she figures the easiest way for that girl to have a normal life is to kill her, you know, like most moms, I guess, whatever. But I don't know, like, but it's such a dark moment when you're watching it and you see how it affects Haram having that memory as a child, you know, like, holy crap, you tried to kill me. And you see that in their relationship when she's dealing with her mom, because she deals with her mom because she has to, because, you know, you only get one, you know what I mean? Like, and you sense that from Haram, and it's so intense when you see Haram finally break down, when you see her start to cry, when she's finally being strong, when she's like, no, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna become a better person because this happened here and that happened there, and I'm getting through this. When you can see that she's just trying to encourage herself as a human being, that she can get through this. Oh my god, the acting, I was in tears. There were things that her mother said to him that I was like, oh no, baby, come here, I got you, just come here, like you don't understand, like it was so intense. Now Jun and Hamulgang. Now homeboy, oh my god, the actor, he is so cute. But what I want to tell you is that playing as the Grim Reaper and playing as Hamulgang is like two different people completely. He truly established the difference between, like, if he had played someone who was bipolar, I would have been like, I'm sold. Like, I don't know who this guy is. That must be I don't know. Is that June? Okay, he's June today. Like, you know, I thought it was so amazing to watch him play from like June, and then 1 minute he's Mugangshi, and then 1 minute he's 444. Trying to not give stuff away, but you gotta watch it. It was a lot to see him actually go through all those changes. Kim Seung-heon, whatever, her, even, you know, I love you. I'm kidding. Girl, you did a great job because I hate your character. I really do. You guys, every single actor had such a phenomenal performance that I fell in love with everyone except Kim Seung-heon. You know, not like for personal reasons, you know, not maybe because she's selfish, she lies all the time, you know, just to get her way because she was too much of a punk, but, you know, and do the right thing. But, you know, that's just my opinion. Don't even worry about her. Everyone there, you guys did such a beautiful job. I haven't cried, like literally, I haven't cried watching something since Fern Gully. And that's because Krista thought that the rainforest was about to be destroyed. And I was all with Robin Williams batting out and stuff. Like, oh my God, I'm a bat. You know, like, and that was the last time I was emotional about anything because I thought the rainforest and Mother Nature was going to be dead. And that's exactly how I became Poison Ivy in real life. Now, aside from that, every actor did such a great job. Crazy Dog, yeah, you my favorite. You my favorite. Oh my God, you are such my favorite. Absolutely adored you. But yeah, all the actors dedicated their time. When you see Hamgang, when he starts to realize certain things and he's with his mom, the rage that he feels, and then with his other mom, yeah, I hope you're getting intrigued to watch. His other mom, when he's having a moment and he has a memory of something that happened when he was a kid, it's such a heartbreaking moment that you can't help but die inside a little bit. I totally planned that.
No, you didn't. Stop lying. You did not plan that.
Yo, you still here? Like, really? But yeah, when you see him dealing with his mom and he starts to have these memories, you are in tears. And I mean, it's really heartbreaking. You feel for these characters on such a deep level that it messes you up. But you know, you can come back now. I need to announce the next thing. Jerk.
So the next thing is the comedy.
Admit it, I'm kind of cute that way. Now, regardless of how serious the show gets and how they put everyone's like lives together, and you see how people are truly just screwing crap up, they still manage to sprinkle very carefully comedy. Now, when you're dealing with a very, very, very dark element in regards to your stories, you do have to lighten it up a bit just so your viewer, your reader, so the person, the human in you can see the light at some point, because some people just don't always see it. So when they put the comedy elements in there, they have like the fact like there's a Grim Reaper in there who raps. It's the funniest thing to me. It's so funny. The way he does that. When they sprinkle elements of like, it's so hard to tell you things without you going, I guess I'll watch it. No, because I need you to watch it. Your life, you're going to be a better person after you're done watching the show. Not even joking. The writers did such a great job sprinkling the elements of comedy without overdoing it, and also without losing the sense of seriousness to the nature of the actual show, which does revolve around this big tragedy at the Mujin Mart, big collapse that happened. So that, I guess I'm gonna make this one quick because I feel like I'm rambling, and you can see how enamored I am with the show because it really is phenomenal. I guess, what is the last thing that I want to do?
You want to just ramble on about things that you're actually passionate about in regards to the show.
That's true. Okay, so aside from all the reasons why I told you how great it is, I'm sorry if I'm like doing spoilers. I'm really not trying to do spoilers because it's such a beautifully intricate, well-written freaking show that it moves your soul, not just your mind and your heart. All of it, the very essence of you. The show makes you think and question things and look back at everything. I don't care who you are, watch the show. Now, things I don't like: Kim Seung-heon, when you got real nosy and you decided to break people up because you mad selfish because you screwed up and lied. You see what happens when you lie? You lose relationships, you lose out. Don't lie, it's bad. It ruins things. You can heal from the truth, you don't heal from a lie. Why? Because it does more damage. Very simple. Kim Seung-heon, no. Haram, oh my god. Yo, I cried when I cried when I realized how you had to live your life. Oh my god, at the end, in episode 18, yo, I'm so serious. They basically did, Hamgang and Haram is another better written version of Romeo and Juliet that Hamgang just basically made every boyfriend, every husband, every future boyfriend on the entire planet for every woman. And I don't give a crap if you're gay, you're straight, whatever. Your significant other looks like crap in comparison to Hamgang Shi. He sacrifices himself in such a way that you're like, holy crap. Why can't any guy just sacrifice his existence for me so I can just finally be alone and happy? Oh, wait, I shouldn't have said that out loud. But really, oh my god, like, I'm not into romances, but that one I was like, oh my god, why can't they just be together? Like, I was emotional. I really wanted them to be together. I enjoyed the Grim Reaper who was rapping. I loved how they explained how Grim Reapers came to be, how the spiritual world comes together. I loved how you see how screwed up her mom's childhood was, and how June ends up helping her, but then it's messed up. Yo, June's mother, Mogangshi, yo, your mother is messed up. She is straight up messed up. As for the serial killer, yo, that's right, there's a serial killer in there. Yo, his backstory, intense. You find out to the very last episode how everything trickled the way that it was. Oh my god, I freaking love this show. I really just want to tell people to go watch it. I really think it just would just leave you go out and gone. I really love those elements, except for Kim Seung-heon. Whatever. But yeah, I feel like this was a terrible review. It's okay if it is. You can just leave it in the comment section. But I just really wanted to express my appreciation for the show. Now, at the very last episode, I ended up finding out that they wrote the show in regards to not compliments, rather, that's a terrible word to use, but in regards to a reference to something that must have happened out in Korea, and they were hoping that due to this tragedy, that the families who were affected by this great tragedy would at least feel, I guess, some sort of appreciation for the show, that their story was somehow told. Which surprised the heck out of me, blew my mind, because I was watching the whole thing and everything got all serious. The ending, Written Red Ralph disagrees with me because he's upset with the ending, but I kind of like it. He wanted something else for the characters. And at the very end, they show up this message and you realize this show was inspired by something really terrible that happened, and for whatever it was, I'm still trying to like find out what it was based on in Korea. I'm still like, researching. Sorry that happened. Think that's absolutely terrible. And I'm hoping that the people who were affected could take, I guess, some kind of comfort in watching the show, knowing that somebody understands or somebody seeing it in some sort of way, because that show was so beautifully written. It just makes you stop. Like, I haven't been able to watch another TV show or a movie and think, yeah, this movie is good enough, because the show is so well written. It makes you stop. It really does. I really think you guys did an amazing job on the show. I would love to see another incredible show like that again. And thank you for putting some of the bloopers at the end of episode 18, which is actually the last episode. You have no idea how much I appreciate it, because I was all kinds of messed up after I finished watching it. I was like thinking to myself, I'm sitting up there late at night questioning myself, like, what if I run into a Grim Reaper and we fall in love? Like, there was so much happening. I really was thinking these things, but yeah, oh my god, that show was phenomenal. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you Apple for the new update that I'm going to annoy everyone with. Ain't that right, buddy? Take it away to the end card, or if I have one, I don't know, that depends on how I'm editing. Right, whatever, you know what to do.
And this message is brought to you by CADMA, your favorite bit in APPLETINI. Basically, what I want you to do is subscribe, leave me some comments, let me know what you think of the review, and most importantly, tell me what you think about the show. Watch the show, and then come back and tell me what you really think, because, oh my god, tell me you can't possibly tell me at the end of the episode you wasn't like mind blown.